Hey guys, it's Ben from Wrench Fetish, New York. I'm coming back here from the garage on a rainy day in upstate western New York. Beautiful as always. Almost as beautiful as the ugly bird. Today, I got some steel, I got some cutters, I got some welders, and I got some personal protective equipment, also known as PPE. Remember, safety's no accident. It always comes first too. What we're going to do today, we're going to mock some stuff up. I'm going to get that carburetor hanging about where I want it to go, and I'm going to hopefully make a fixture that I can bring the whole assembly with me to work, and we're going to weld this thing up solid. Maybe even by the end of the week, we'll have some stuff together. Stay tuned. I'm going to get some stuff going today here on Wrench Fetish. Alright, so what I got here is the cylinder head. I got a carved gasket, I got some steel, I got some drills, and I got my angle grinder. My plan now is I'm going to take this steel and I'm going to cut it, bend it a little bit, drill some holes, and I'm going to hang this thing so that my carb will sit just about there. Now when I get to it, I'm going to have it sitting on the engine block so that I actually see what it looks like in the car. I'd like to position the carburetor in a way so that it kind of sits in a little bit of a rowdy fashion. I'm going to have that thing hopefully sticking just a little bit outside of the hood so I can have an excuse to make an ugly hood scoop for the ugly bird. So we're going to start with laying out the pattern for this guy so that we can eventually cut that out. And this is just going to suspend the carb, hopefully, off of the cylinder head so that we can hang some tubing underneath it when it's time to start welding stuff together. Always spot your holes. I like using step drills in sheet metal because they have a straight flute and they don't pull themselves through sheet metal when they start to break through the hole. This one has seen better days. Alright, we got our holes drilled. Now it's time to put it on something. If you remember this from the last video, this is the carburetor base. This is what's going to sit on the top of the intake and everything's going to get welded to it, come off of it. This is going to be the heart of the intake next to the head. Okay? We're going to just kind of set that on here. Hopefully all our screw holes line up. It would be nice if they did. Please excuse my really mismatched hardware, but I didn't think to go to the store and buy anything for this. So I'm just going to make do with, again, what we got in front of us. This is a budget build, man. I'm not trying to spend $1 million on every little thing. I'm going to use anything I got sitting around me to make the best of what I've got. And that is that. This is going to hang over the engine compartment. This is going to be what we can tack weld stuff to and from, and have this somewhere about like that, like we said before. You see a lot of weld all over the back of this plate. I like to practice in my spare time. If I got nothing else going on, I'll turn on the welder. I'll just kind of throw down some beads, because why not? I enjoy it. Last weekend, or the weekend before, we had some really nice weather. I had my wife out here, the significant other. I even taught her to do a little bit of MIG welding, and she really seemed to enjoy it. Or she was faking. I'm going to use my aluminum tubing that we talked about the other day to show myself where my hood line's going to be. I need this so that when I bend this over, I need everything to know it's going to be under the hood, or at least where that hood's going to be, so that I can make something stick out of it. Alright guys, I've got my fixture started. What we got is a few holes drilled in here, and we've got it bent so that when I bolt this down into my cylinder head, it's about at the same plane that I want the top of my carburetor base plate to sit, okay, when it's suspended in air. What I want to do now is, this thing is kind of a little ringy. I don't really want to have a cowbell in there. I'd like to have a fixture, and that also means that this needs to be rigid when it's part of the car. So I'm going to weld some gussets on here. Told you we get to some welding eventually. Let's do it. I'd also like to add personal protective equipment at all times. Flame retardant coat. I do have leather welding gloves, and I am wearing a proper auto darkening welding helmet. This happens to be one that I've had for many years, and I really love it. It's a speed glass. It's made by 3M. They don't just make tape to wrap up your Christmas presents. They make stuff that protects your eyes so you don't burn them into raisins. Let's weld some stuff. Here, we've got a bracket. This has now been shaped so that it bolts to the riser screw holes for the lifter assembly, or the push rod assembly that goes inside the valve cover. Without that stuff on there, I've got a nice datum surface that this can sit on. This is level to the floor, both this way and front to back, so that the carburetor is going to sit level when it's actually fully installed, because that matters. But what happens is, this unit here is going to bolt on underneath like that, and that's going to give us a theoretical position for our carburetor. Not just theoretical, that's where it's going to go, because that's really just the whole point of this exercise today, was to make sure that we knew where that carburetor was going to sit. Next up, I have to pull the head back out of the car, get it on this here bench, and then I can start figuring out how to cut our tubes, cut our brackets, so that everything will actually line up and get air into the motor. Alright, so let's get a closer look at what we're looking at here. Our cylinder head, as you guys remember, I should probably just stop saying it's a cylinder head. I think you guys get it. And this is going to bolt on just like that. I have my carburetor plate mocked up underneath this as we speak. So that I can maintain its position. This plate that I showed you the other day on our other video, this is where all the intake runners flow into the head. They have to go from here into here. Alright guys, we got a lot done today. We got our bracket mocked up so we know exactly where the carburetor is going to sit when this thing is all done. Got a few more things done that I'm not showing just yet. That's coming up. That's part of the next video I think I'm going to put together. Got a pretty good idea, and I think I'm going to bundle it all up nicely. Got a trip out to the Josh compound coming up. You guys are going to see that. And I got some ideas for some new content that I'm hoping you guys will like. If you've got any ideas of things you want to see, let me know. I'd love to talk to you more about what you're wondering about the car. If there's anything you want to know that I've done a lot more than what you've seen. If there's stuff you want to see, let me know. I'd love to make a video about it and tell you all about it. We're going to start visiting some other people's projects. Got a couple guys on the line who they got stuff they want to talk about. They've got their own wrench fetish. They got some burnouts they're going to do. Don't get on the show if you don't throw no smoke, man. That's coming up soon. We're going to see you next time on Wrench Fetish. I'm Ben, and I'm out.